fought the fight, breaking down the walls in the dead of night. I don't come for peace, I come for the storm. Fanboys melt quick when the truth gets warm. Saw content's high, I'm collecting those tears. Just got started, but I'm cutting through fears. I'm not here for brand deals, I'm not for sale. I expose your lies, rip off the veil.
This entire situation with Nintendo and Palworld is one of the most important moments in modern gaming, and most people have no idea just how big it actually is. What we're seeing right now isn't just some small legal scuffle between two companies. This is a clash of philosophies. This is a battle between a massive billion-dollar corporation that's grown far too comfortable controlling the market and a small developer that dared to stand up to them. And for once, it looks like the little guy might actually be landing some real punches. But before we get into this, please hit the like button and the hype button as well. It really helps out small channels like mine to stand up to the greedy corporations and the toxic fanboys. Let's make something clear. This isn't about whether you like Nintendo or not. I grew up with Nintendo, most of us did. We all have memories with Mario, with Pokemon, with Zelda, but there's a difference between respecting their legacy and letting them weaponize it to control creativity. What's happening right now with this Palworld case is a wake-up call that should have happened years ago, because for the first time in a long time, it looks like a company that has used its power to silence, bully, and corner other developers might actually be getting checked. So here's what's going on. Nintendo and the Pokemon Company went after Pocket Pair, the developers of Palworld, claiming that they basically copied Pokemon. They claimed that Palworld infringed on their patents and their mechanics. The monster catching, the battling, the capturing system somehow belonged to them. For months, people feared this would be another case of Nintendo steamrolling smaller devs like they've done so many times before. But then something happened. The Japanese Patent Office, not a court, not a fan poll, but an actual government office, looked at one of Nintendo's core patents, a piece of the foundation for their argument, and said, no, this doesn't hold up. You didn't invent this. Think about that for a second. A major institution looked at Nintendo's claims and said, we've seen this before. Other games have already done this. That's huge. Now, yeah, technically this rejection is labeled non-final. It doesn't end the lawsuit. It doesn't automatically make Pocket Pair win, but symbolically, this is massive. It's the first crack in the armor. It's proof that Nintendo's legal empire isn't untouchable, and it's proof that the gaming industry is finally waking up to the fact that ideas can't be owned when they've existed for decades before a company tried to slap a patent sticker on them. Nintendo filed a patent claiming ownership over a sequence of gameplay steps. You weaken a monster, paralyze it, then throw a special pod to capture it. That's literally the same basic system used in Pokemon, but also in Monster Hunter and Ark, and a dozen other games that came long before this patent was ever filed. They try to patent something that's been part of gaming since forever, the basic loop of battling and capturing. You can't claim to have invented something that already existed. It's like they're trying to patent the idea of jumping in a platformer or shooting in a shooter. The Japanese Patent Office saw right through it, pointing out prior examples like Monster Hunter 4, Craftopia, Ark, and even Pokemon Go itself, all of which use similar mechanics before Nintendo ever submitted this patent. And here's where it gets interesting. That evidence didn't just appear out of nowhere. A third party submitted examples of those older games, and based on how closely those examples match what Pocket Pair used in its defense earlier this year, it's almost certain that the third party was Palworld's team themselves. So think about the symbolism there. The small indie developer, the so-called copycat, might have been the one who provided the very evidence that's now making Nintendo's legal foundation crumble. That's poetic. That's David hitting Goliath right in the forehead with a stone carved out of logic and fair play. Now let's get real. Nintendo will fight this tooth and nail. They can appeal. They can modify their claim. They can drag this out in court for years. They've done it before. But the bigger picture here isn't about one patent. It's about the precedent. If this rejection stands, it weakens Nintendo's entire strategy of filing overreaching patents designed to scare or corner other studios. It sends a message to the entire industry. You can't monopolize creativity. You can't declare ownership over game design fundamentals that belong to everyone. For too long, companies like Nintendo have been using the legal system as a weapon to hold back innovation. They're not just protecting their IP, they're creating a moat around the entire creative space. They want to make sure nobody can make anything even remotely similar, even if it's built differently, even if it's inspired by decades of shared gaming history. And this move against Palworld was supposed to be the big warning shot to everyone else: stay in your lane or we'll sue. But now that warning shot backfired. Now instead of intimidating other developers, it's emboldened them. Every small studio, every indie creator that's ever wanted to experiment with creature collecting, crafting, or world building is watching this unfold and realizing that Nintendo's word isn't law anymore. That's why this feels like a win for us gamers, because at the end of the day, when competition thrives, we win. When creativity is allowed to breathe, we get better games. You see, what Nintendo has been doing isn't just legal maneuvering, it's creative suppression. They built an empire on nostalgia and brand loyalty, but they have also built walls around what other people are allowed to create. Look at the state of Pokemon today. Pokemon Legends ZA was supposed to be this massive evolution, the next great step forward. But what did we get? A game that looks like it could have run on the Wii. A lazy, unfinished, uninspired release that proved how far the franchise has fallen. And you know why that happened? Because when you eliminate competition, you eliminate incentive. When you can legally bully other studios out of making similar games, you don't have to innovate anymore. You can release half-baked projects, slap a familiar logo on the box, and watch the money roll in. That's what Nintendo and Game Freak have been doing for years, banking on loyalty while giving players less. So when people say, why does this matter? It's just a patent thing? No. It matters because this is how you fight corporate stagnation. This is how you remind these companies that they don't own the soul of gaming. The Japanese Patent Office rejecting this claim isn't just a legal technically, it's a moral statement. It's saying you didn't invent fun, you don't own imagination. Now let's be fair, this doesn't mean Nintendo's finished. They'll still have other patents in the case, and this rejection doesn't automatically dismantle those, but those connections between them is clear. The rejected patents sits in the same family as the ones Nintendo is currently using in court. That means that this one falls, the others could easily follow. It's a domino effect waiting to happen, and it's all because the patent office decided to actually look at real games this time instead of just piles of legal jargon. For years, patent offices all around the world have been rubber stamping corporate nonsense because they didn't understand the context of game design. They see technically descriptions full of vague terminology, interactive dynamic object capturing system, or player initiate containment devices, and just approve it without realizing they were granting ownership over basic mechanics that have existed forever. But this time someone actually sat down, looked at Monster Hunter, looked at Ark, and said, wait, this is the same thing. That's progress, that's accountability. And you can bet Nintendo's furious about it. They're not used to hearing no. They built their entire identity on control. Control over their products, control over their image, and control over their conversation. So when someone pushes back and wins, even temporarily, it shakes them. And you can see that frustration reflected in everything they're doing right now. Meanwhile, Palworld, a game that many people initially dismissed as a meme, as a Pokemon with guns joke, has grown into a symbol of resistance. Whether you like the game or not doesn't matter. What matters is that it represents the idea that independent developers can exist alongside the giants and still succeed. It represents the belief that gamers deserve choices, that we deserve to see new interpretations of ideas we love, not the same recycled formula sold to us every generation. And let's be real, Nintendo's anger isn't just about legal lawsuits, it's about embarrassment. It's about the fact that a small studio out of Japan managed to make a game that shook the entire Pokemon brand without the backing of a billion-dollar marketing machine. It's about the fact that Palworld's success exposed how complacent Game Freak has become. And now that the legal system is starting to turn against them, they are realizing they can't hide behind lawyers forever. As gamers, we should be celebrating this moment, not because it's about taking sides, but because it's about restoring the balance. For too long, gaming has been dominated by corporations that believe they own creativity. This patent rejection is proof that they don't. It's proof that innovation can still beat intimidation. It's proof that if enough people push back, even the biggest names can be forced to to play fair. This is a win for us, not just for Palworld, not just for indie devs, but for everyone who's tired of seeing creativity get strangled by greed. Because when companies can't patent basic gameplay concepts, it means the door stays open for new ideas. It means the next great game, the next revolutionary mechanic can come from anywhere, not just from the handful of studios with lawyers on speed dial. And that's what scares Nintendo the most. Not losing a court case, losing control, losing the ability to dictate what's allowed to exist. They built their empire on the idea that they're the only ones who can make real Nintendo style experiences. But now the world's seeing that's not true. Other people can do it, and sometimes they can do it better. So yeah, they'll appeal, they'll drag their feet, and they'll try to spin the narrative, but the truth is out now. The curtain's been pulled back. The patent office rejection might not be the end of the story, but it's the beginning of something bigger, a shift in how we view creativity, ownership, and fairness in gaming. And if you ask me, that's something worth celebrating, because for once it feels like we, the players, the creators, the dreamers, actually won a round. It's not over, but it's a reminder that even the biggest names in gaming can't silence innovation forever, and maybe, just maybe, this is the start of an industry that values progress over protectivism, imagination over intimidation, and freedom over fear.
And that's it for the video. If you truly enjoyed it, do me a favor and hit the like button, hit the hype button, share it around, and make sure you're subscribed. I post a long video every day, and I also go live Monday morning at 5 a.m. Pacific time, where I react to the saltiest fanboys around. And also, make sure you subscribe, because I'm really trying to hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I really need your help. If you really want to support the channel, consider becoming a member. It's only $1 a month. You'll get special badges, custom emotes, and of course your name shouted at the end of every video. And once that list gets too long, don't worry, I will turn it into a full-on credit roll so everybody gets their chance to shine. Also, don't forget to check out the merch if you want to rep the Vigilante Fire. And as always, until next time guys, stay vigilant.
And now it's time to read off the members of the channel. We got Koros Objective, Maximilian Pegasus 88, Mad Fox 94, Dr. Downvote, Oh No It's Justin, Brian Payne, Andy Ritz, J Wesby 65, C-Stars Piplup, Maximus 2400, Geezer Noob, Dustin 360, That PlayStation Gamer, Stephen Ramey, Matthew Buckley, Blue Moon, John Marr, Johnny Bones Jones, The One and Only Groot, Female Goku, Powerman UK, Thomas Hopkins Jr., Alyssa D. Lawless, James Rowe, Mario 123, Casaria, Shane's World, Renee, Dragon Knight Dragonborn, Torny the Witch Lord, This is Jaybird, Crippled Gamer, Blast 1314, General Ryu Haka, and CM. Thank you so much for becoming part of the crew.
You can cry in the comments, but you won't survive. Like and subscribe if you feel that vibe. We're